Heyo! Welcome back, everybody. This is Ian Chiquino once again. I'm continuing my Heart of the Swarm series, looking at individual units. Next up, we're going to look at the Hellion. Of course, it's a standard Hellion, the same standard Hellion from Wings of Liberty. 100 minerals, 2 supply, 30 build time. But the difference in Heart of the Swarm is it has a battle mode. So this battle mode takes 4 seconds to transform. So it starts out with 90 life and does 8 damage and then 14 versus light. So let's check out the changes. So as you can see, it gets more health and it gets more damage. Of course, it has moves a little bit slower, as you can see here. Moves a little bit slower. Let's see, movement speed is 2.25 versus I think 4.25. So yeah, it loses 2 movement speed, a lot slower. Range is 5 with the Hellion and it has splash, as opposed to with the, so this will be a lot easier. There we go. Range 2 versus range 5, weapon speed 2.25 versus 1.9. So attacks a little bit slower. Targets ground versus ground also, so the difference is it's standard damage. 8 damage versus 10 damage. The same damage versus lights, so Zerglings and stuff like that, no difference in damage. And the life here. Now, someone asked the question, how is the life transferred? Because if you take damage in Hellion form, when you transfer, do you have the same amount of damage percentage, or is it full life again, or what the deal is? So, essentially, it's a pretty accurate percentage representation. So if you attack your Hellion here, and you do some damage, 76 out of 90, and then you transform, the new unit does have pretty much the exact same percentage of damage off of that unit. So you have the same amount of, I guess, percentage of life as you would if you were the standard Hellion versus the battle mode. Hopefully that makes sense. So now that that's cleared up, so where is this battle Hellion useful? Well, it's going to be used in situations where you don't want to, or you don't need to, I should say. You don't need to kite your opponent. You want to do a full-on attack. Excuse me, you want to do a full-on attack against your opponent. You just want to butt heads with them, go straight up. You don't want to do any fancy micro as you would normally see with the Hellions. So normally with the Hellions, especially in TVZ, you'll get your Hellions out, probably 4 of them. And then you'd have Zerglings coming at you. Let's just make some Zerglings here. Where are the Zerglings at? Of course, they're down here by the creep. So let's make some Zerglings. Make a bunch of Zerglings here. Let's attack the middle. Daylight's burning. Is that it? So you got your Zerglings here, and normally what you do is you do shoot and scoot, toast them like that. So that's obviously that's how everybody sees Hellions being played. So the difference here is, let's say you're going to do some battle Hellions. You want to use them as sort of a buffer for mech play. So let's say you got yourself a whole bunch of Hellions, and you're going to throw in some, let's throw in some siege tanks there. So let's get a couple siege tanks out. Let's get a couple more Hellions. And that poor guy in the back is stuck, so he's in trouble. So you got your siege tanks sieged up. Let's spread these guys out here a little bit. Got your battle mode Hellions here. And let's say we're going to go up against a lot of Zerglings. So let's make a bunch of Zerglings here. This isn't going to be very accurate as far as like supply versus supply count goes, but I'm just going to try to get an idea here. Make a bunch of roaches. So let's see an attack here. Not sure if this is even close to being the same amount of supply or whatever, but
what's the story?
You got some roaches and Zerglings. Yeah, I think the mech is going to win this. Maybe I need some more roaches in here. Alright. So let's keep these guys back for a second. They're going to be the defenders here. So obviously in a straight up fight like this, you're going to want to have the units with higher HP. And, yeah, more HP, better. And, yeah, Hellions die. They take a lot more damage than they normally would. Of course, you can kite with them. But in this situation, Zerg player is going to win. Just because obviously I have plenty of roaches here. And an open map. So that's kind of an idea how you would want to use, not that particular situation, but you want to use Hellion, the battle mode Hellions, when you just want to fight straight up. You don't really want to do much kiting involved. Maybe if you want to hold like a small position, Or let's say you've got an expansion. Let's say you're over here mining your base, and you got to doing some Zergling run-bys. So you're over here with your Hellion. You can have them battle mode just sitting here and doing some defense, because it'll survive a little bit longer. And so there you go. There's the Battle Hellion. One thing else what else should I look at for the Battle Hellion? What else would he be useful for? I'm trying to think now. One thing I am curious about is his area of effect. So let's throw some Zerglings out here. So that's one other difference between the standard Hellion and the battle mode Hellion. So the battle mode Hellion does his damage in more of a cone attack. Where did he go to?
Go ahead. I hear you.
So let's try and put those guys like that. And let's look at the damage area of effect we've got here. So let's put them... Oh! So there you go. So as you can see here, he took a lot of damage. Like, that's a pretty big area of effect. So he's attacking a lot of Zerglings. And let's compare that to just a standard Hellion doing his AoE. Pulling that guy up here. So this does a straight line attack. That one attacked like, what is that, like 5 or 6 guys, as opposed to this one which did a whole sweep of Zerglings. I want to get some more Zerglings in here. Get a better look at this. There we go. Let the swarm loose. So I'm just going to surround this Hellion completely. Oh, wait. You need to be on hold command, buddy. He's probably going to attack anyway. Yep. Okay, let's take a look at this. So it does a lot of damage there, and you can see like the area of effect he did. Like most of all this stuff here is being killed when he was attacking that way, as opposed to the standard Hellion like I shown, which kind of just walks up and does a straight attack there. So obviously regular Hellion great for kiting. Battle Hellion a lot better when you're fighting front lines. I think the Battle Hellion is going to be so much more effective versus Zealots in the TVP matchup, where the Protoss player is going to have a line of Zealots, maybe a bunch of charge lots. Let's just throw some Zealots out here. The Zealots will fight you straight up with some Stalkers behind them, and the Battle Mode Hellions will, they do very well on a front line. So the Battle Mode Hellions will do really, really well on a front line. You can obviously kite Zealots, but if you want to fight them straight up, the best way will be to obviously go to Battle Mode. Because whenever the Zealots fight in a straight line, you want an area of effect that's kind of the cone shape like we saw earlier, as opposed to the long straight line attack. That's better if you want to kite them, but in a straight up fight without any kiting whatsoever, you definitely go for the battle mode. So battle mode's going to give a lot of opportunities for mech. Oh, stop blowing up all this stuff, I'm going to need that. The battle mode's going to give mech a lot of opportunity to fight Zealots, Zerglings a lot more efficiently. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about the Battle Mode Hellion. If you guys have any questions about the Battle Mode Hellion, post them in the comments, and I'll do another video if you guys got a lot of questions for it. So, that's it. Thanks for watching. Next up, I guess I'll do some Zerg units. What do we got over here? Let's do the... Let's start with something simple. We'll do the Hydra, because Hydra got a speed boost. We'll do that next.